In this perspective drawn here, we're just going to take a look at our question here first. So draw a perspective view of the structure shown in figure 1. So it gives an elevation and a plan of it. It tells us the picture plane passed through corner A. The spectator is 11 meters from corner A. And the horizon line is 9 meters above the ground line. And then it wants us to use auxiliary vanishing points where appropriate. Okay, so for our sloping edges, we're going to have to use our auxiliary vanishing points there. And it gives their scale there of 1:100. So that's the first thing you work on there, your scale. So straight away, just go to every measurement that's on your drawing. Obviously, apart from your angle measurements, they don't change. So 2 meters will be 2,000 millimeters. And if we divide that by 100, that'll give us our 20. So each of these are going to be 20. 20. So straight away, I'd cross them off and put in the proper measurement. 3 meters becomes 30. That's 20, 20, 20, and 30. So there, all the length measurements taken care of. The rest of them, as I say, the angles don't change. So first thing I'll do is I'll set up my plan, and I'll set up my spectator over here in the top left hand corner, and I'll work through them from there. Now, so I have my plan drawn here in the top corner. I have my spectator located. I want to now put in my cone of vision. So for my cone of vision, same as normal. So the spectator, he or she looks at the opposite corners of that building. So the very outside points that he sees, and it's actually going to hit this point here now rather than the inside one. Okay, so that's my cone of vision. I bisect my cone of vision, and I get my picture plane then as my sheet of glass again. That'll be kind of 90 degrees into that bisector. Okay, so it'll appear as a line there, 90 degrees to that. So I'm just going to run through that there quickly. Now, so on my picture plane, so I have my picture plane here. That's my picture plane. On my picture plane now, I want to locate my vanishing points. So to locate my vanishing points, from my spectator, I go parallel to my outside edges. So that's my vanishing point on the left. So I'm going to call that the VPL. And I also need to locate the one on the right. And in order to do that, I'm going to have to extend my picture plane up here. So I'm going to add a bit of a page on, extend the picture plane, and find out where it crosses. Okay, so you can see I found my vanishing point up there. So the next step now is to put in my ground line, put in my horizon line, drop my vanishing points down onto my horizon line. So at this stage now, I'd normally tell lads to reorientate the page until you have your T-square parallel with your picture plane. After that, then it just makes it a little bit handier drawing vertical lines in that. As I have my page reorientated now, so my picture plane is parallel with my T-square. So after this, then I'm just working on vertical lines with my T-square, like I normally wouldn't draw. So it just makes it a little bit easier. Again, lads can get around it using adjustable set square, but sometimes they'll have it turned the wrong way. So the drawing is still wrong. So I'm just going to put my ground line there as low as I can get on the page so you can still see it. So I'm just going to put my ground line there as that green line there going across the bottom. Okay, so GL for my ground line. And it tells me in the question that the horizon line is 9 meters above the ground line. So 9 meters then transfers down as 90 when I scale it down. Okay, so I'm going to measure 90 above my ground line, and I'm going to draw my horizon line there at that. And I'm going to put my horizon line in a light blue. Okay, so there's my horizon line, and I can just drop down my vanishing point straight down then onto that horizon line. So that's the VPL, which stands for vanishing point on the left. And then we have our VPR, our vanishing point on the right. Okay, so all lines going this direction, they all vanish off to my vanishing point on the right, and all lines going this direction, they all vanish off to my vanishing point on the left. So just when my center line of vision there is red, so all my lines I'm projecting are just going to be parallel with that, which are just basically, as I'm looking at now, vertical lines. Okay, so we know anything touching the picture plane is a true length, so drop down corner A. That's a true length or a true height from the ground up. And now looking at my question, that is a height of 30. Okay, so that's my 30 there drawn in as a true height. And I can vanish that back now, back to my vanishing point on the right. And I can also vanish it back to the vanishing point on the left. That's also going to give me the height of this section here, because I know looking at the question, like that rectangular section in the middle is the same height as that corner there, which is 30. So when I vanish that back along, it's going to give me the top edge for that along this surface here. So I vanish that back to the vanishing point on the left, and the same at the bottom. Okay, so now I want to locate this point here. I already had this one found, so I want to locate that guy there, and it'll also give me that one there. So I just look at it in my drawing. So anytime I want to find a point, I need to look at it from the spectator, join to that point in the drawing, and that's gone a little bit off the camera. So join to that point. Okay, so what we're looking at there is that, so I'll just join to that point there. And where it cuts through the picture plane, I can just drop that straight down. That's the image just appearing on that picture plane as the spectator is looking at it. So that gives me those points there. Okay. And now I can find where that rectangular section hits that surface. Okay, again by just looking at it from the spectator. Where it cuts through the picture plane, drop it down. Okay, and the same for the one on the other side. So it's already vanished back along. So the height is sorted for me. Cut to the picture plane, drop it down. Okay, so that is where that rectangular object meets that flat face at the front. Now obviously that is jutting out from it. Okay, so this line here won't necessarily be visible, and some of this will also be hidden a little bit from that edge there, because as I'm looking at that, that's obviously blocking that corner behind it. Okay, so now my spectator is going to look at that point. Okay, I can vanish this, so because it's going that direction, it's vanishing back to my vanishing point on the right, so that's what I'm going to do with it here. And the same for the one on this side. The same for the bottom section of it, the bottom edge of it. Where I cut through my picture plane, I drop it down. Okay, and look at the other side of it, where it dropped through my picture plane, drop it down. Okay, so you can see now that back corner is going to be more or less completely covered by this rectangular section coming out the front. Okay, we'll see a little bit of the back corner, but only that bit that's left extruding out over the top of that there. Okay, so the rest of it, this here, is not actually going to be seen. Okay. Now I want to locate this point here. Okay, so it cuts through the picture plane, just drop it down. So that's that point there on the ground. Okay, on the other side of it, I won't actually see projecting back along, so I don't need to put it in. It's not a glass object, so I can't see through it and see the lines at the far side. So now what we're going to worry about, I suppose I can nearly start putting in my auxiliary vanishing points for these sloping surfaces here, which is sloping up the way here, and it's sloping back down then to there. You can see it here, sloping up from corner A, and when it gets to the peak, sloping back down again. Okay, so what we have basically, we have all this on the ground, and we have all this line at a height of 30 above it, which is here. Okay, so now for my auxiliary vanishing point, I need to look at the angle that that is at. Okay, so I can see there that they're making an angle of 30 degrees that way. So they're going at 30 that way, and they're going at 30 degrees that way there. So I'm going to set up my vanishing point now to locate that 30 degree slope or that 30 degree height that I need to offset and need to use. So from my original vanishing point, I'm going to measure up an angle of 30 degrees. So that's my original vanishing line. Okay, so I'll put that in my green. So that's my original vanishing line there. So I'm going to measure 30 degrees up from there. Mark that off at 30. Okay, so my 30 degree angle there set in. And this needs now to extend slightly over my plan. And I want to make a 90 degree angle then between this line and extend it until it hits my 30 degree line. The handiest way to do that nearly is just use your protractor. You have it from doing your 30 degree line anyways. So extend that. So now that's going to be the height that I'm going to take, and that's my 30 degree angle folded down flat, we'll say. And I'm going to be stepping that then either above or below my vanishing point here, depending on what way I'm looking at it. So if I walk towards corner A and that slope then starts going up the way, I mark it over the vanishing point. And the slope then going down the way, I need to mark it below that vanishing point. Okay, and because all the slopes are dealing with lines going this direction, this is the vanishing point here I'm marking above and below, not the guy over here. Okay, so I take my compass, I set my distance or my height there that I'm going to be using, and I set that above the vanishing point, and I know I'm also going to have ones below it, so I'm going to set that now. It should just fit on the page there. I'll just extend that line down. Okay, so that's an auxiliary vanishing AUX VP, and up here we have another AUX VP, another auxiliary vanishing point. So this auxiliary vanishing point, this is going to be for the one as I walk towards corner A and then this slope up the way. So more or less that's going to be for the ones on the right hand side of the center line, if you like. So that's going to be for all the ones sloping up this way. Okay, so for example the very first one here now I'm going to do goes to that auxiliary vanishing point. Okay, so that's that sorted. Now where did that finish? Well, I can put in one going down to that auxiliary vanishing point where it cuts it, or I can just look at it here in the drawing and then drop it down. So get a spectator, looks at the center point where that cuts through my picture plane, just drop that down and that'll cut that vanishing line in the center. So right there. Okay, and then I can use my other auxiliary vanishing point and slope it up to that there. And it should line up that it hits this corner here as well. Okay, and that lines up perfect there from that ridge point, down it hits that corner, and it goes down to that auxiliary vanishing point down there. I'm just going to finish off that little rectangular piece there at the front. Okay, and I finish off that as if it ends there at the moment. So just finish off that roof structure as it is, and then we'll plonk the piece on top of it. So up to that auxiliary vanishing point there. And this is not a sloping line, that's a straight line. That ridge we're going back along, that's a straight line, or a level line, it's not sloping. So we can just bring it straight back to this vanishing point on the right. Okay, so that is how that object would look. Obviously, if there weren't other ones up on top of it there. But there is, so now we're going to start drawing in those. So what I'm going to do is get the location of these points here on the roof, extend them up and vanish them then after that. So this guy here at the back, that's just a matter of, from a spectator, looking at that point, where it cuts through that, drop it down. Okay, so that's that point then there on the roof, and we can just vanish that back along. Okay, so that's the line that would make on that roof structure there. If we want to find out exactly where that is, again, we can just look at it there, or else we can extend it and then look at it at a line going up that direction there. It's all the one. So what I'm going to do is I'll just look at it here so the spectator looks at it. It cuts through the picture plane, drop it straight down. So just make sure you're accurate with those. So that's that point there. So that's that edge there in the roof, and that goes straight up. Right, so this is going to go straight up here, and it's at a height of 30. Now I can't just measure 30 here because that's not touching the picture plane, so that's not a true height. Okay, so there's a number of ways of doing that. Now I just want to show you how we can locate that point either. Okay, by extending it up here in my plan. So if I see at that point and extend it to the edge over here, because I know I have that edge already, so I can extend that down to that edge. Okay, and the spectator looks at that point. Okay, and again where that cuts through the picture plane, I can drop that down. Okay, onto that edge there, that's my point. And if I join that now back to my auxiliary vanishing point, it should line up in the same place. Okay, so we can see that there, it's lined up exactly in the same place there. Extend it up along, that's going to give me my slope of that there going up along. And it's going to slope, it will slope until it hits the ridge board area. So that's that part done. Now I want to locate the height now of this edge here going up along. And I know looking in the drawing, okay, looking at the question, if it was level with the outside, so this side is the same, if it was level with the outside, it would be 60 millimeters high. Okay, that's if it was level with the edge there that's touching the picture plane, but it's not. But I'm going to mark it as first and then vanish it back up. Okay, so the first thing I do there is I extend that there in my plan to be over that edge. Okay, and then where I look at it, where across the picture plane, I can drop that straight down. Okay, so that across the picture plane, I can drop that straight down there. Okay, and I can now measure my 60 along my true length line. Okay, so that's my 60 there, measured along my true length line. And it vanishes back along to the right. So I can vanish that then back along to the vanishing point on the right. Okay, and it crosses that line at that point there. Okay, so that's if it was over the outside of my object, but it's not. But it is still vanishing back up at that same angle, back up to that vanishing point. So I can get that, and I can vanish it up to that vanishing point like so. And that's going to give me a point there that I can join. So that is now that edge there. I'm looking at the point view here. That's my edge in my plan. Okay, and I already had that vanish back up there. So I want to find out where it finishes off from the other side, so I can just look at it in my plan from the spectator. And the same thing again where it cuts through the picture plane, just drop it down. Okay, so that's the point there, and vanish it back down to this vanishing point. Okay, and there'll be a little, so this edge is here. I'm going to have another one there at the other side as well. Okay, so the spectator looks at it, where it cuts through the picture plane, drop it down, and that'll locate that point for me. Okay, so that'll locate that edge there. And I can finish off that there. And again, this goes to the right, so I can vanish it to the one on the right. And again, where it finishes, I just drop it down and that'll locate that point for me again. Okay, so I'll just finish this off first. Okay, and that edge again will slope up to that vanishing point. Now the other section does cut down over that again, and it might slightly overlap my spectator, I'm not sure, but we'll drive on with it anyway. So I want to locate the points first of all. So again, I can just drop that point straight down and it'll cut here somewhere. So spectator looks at the point. So he looks at it where it cuts through my picture plane, just drop it straight down, and that's one that I've already brought down. Okay, so I'm going to basically repeat the process that I've done for the second one up here. As I just repeat the same step, so I extended the edge as if it was over the outside edge. I measured up my distance, it actually ended up more or less on the horizon, it was 90, so it's on the horizon line. Vanished it back along, it gave me this point here. That's the point I vanished up. And where it cut down to the point here as I looked at it over across the picture plane, that gave me that line, and then the same process for the rest of the points. I'll just finish off that then, vanishing back. And that's straight up, and so it's up to this vanishing point. That's my auxiliary. And just heavy in my final detail there. So this little bit could we do being a bit heavier. Okay, so that's that question then complete. I say there's a good lot of use there of your auxiliary vanishing points, even as much as your auxiliary vanishing points as your normal vanishing points. Again, it's unlikely you're going to get one as hard as that in the exam anymore.